Marquez said that the painting contained clues only a Gnostic could solve. But when it was back in this room, all would become clear. The photo was of the Marquez family. On the fireplace behind them were two identical statues. The painting held all the answers. The Tower of Saints had led us to the Castel. I wondered where the other clues would take us. It was a tower of tormented souls. They looked like the damned. The priest appeared to have a padlock through his mouth. He was pointing down to the ring below him. There was a tower within the ring. Maybe it indicated a place? The bearded figure was similar to the one on the fireplace in the hall. I wondered if there was a connection. The orb in the old man's hand glowed with a green light. Inside the ring was a castle gate. I had no idea what it signified. Within the ring, there were a number of houses. It was a village or a small town. A scarred face stared back at me from within the Ouroboros. A symbol was cut into the man's forehead. Simeon had claimed that it was the sign of the Tabula Veritatis. A large Ouroboros dominated the center of the painting. Before he was killed, Simeon had said that the tree inside the Ouroboros represented hidden Gnostic knowledge. And here it was, a whole new image inside the snake. Hobbes had uncovered it, but now he was dead. Inside the ring was what looked like an affluent town. The figure of the young man was just like the one on the front of the fireplace. It couldn't be a coincidence. The youthful figure held a glowing blue orb in his hand. It was the figure of a priest, but with a dog's head. The figure was pointing up at a ring above him. It was a castle of saints, Castel de Sants, in Catalonian. The plinths looked like they could be rotated.
What is this? A staircase. I never knew. We must go up. We don't have much time. Stairs. Always stairs.
Oh my God, look at this.
Georges? Georges! What's this? A piece of burnt paper with the word Wolfram. That sounds familiar.
Wolfram. I curse that name forever.
What do you know about Wolfram, Senor?
Wolfram. I spit on the name.
So you have lived here for a long time?
All my life. My father served here before me. In fact, he named me after Senor Xavier's favorite saint, Saint Ramon, patron saint of the falsely accused.
That's nice.
Not really. The Moors put a padlock through his mouth.
Oh, I see. Well, I guess there's a lesson there for all of us. What is Wolfram?
It was a mining company run by a murdering swine called Ganon. In the Civil War, they backed the fascists. In return, Ganon was given soldiers to do his dirty work. They came here, brought their bloody war to this house, and killed Senor Xavier.
They shot Xavier? Senor Marquez's father?
I was just a boy, but I remember like it was yesterday. Shot him and his friend Hernandez, like animals.
Why did they come here?
They were searching for something, but they brought death with them. But there is one thing I have never understood. Xavier tried to escape through the library. But the library windows are barred. It is a dead end.
This Kenan, who was he?
He was Swiss, a businessman, and a murdering swine.
So what did he want here?
I don't know. When he wasn't torturing the locals, he disappeared to the library. Spent weeks in there, making notes and studying maps. His men, they crossed the whole of Catalonia searching for something.
Did they find it?
Who knows? One day, Ganon just disappeared. He never came back. An accident, perhaps, in the mountains. May his soul rot in hell. The soldiers didn't stay long to search for him. They hated him too.
The name Genan was familiar. He was the person who had tried to buy La Maledicción. A coincidence? Perhaps.
There is no such thing as coincidence.
So, when the soldiers left, you took back the house?
Yes. A few years later I returned and cleaned the place up. It broke my heart. I locked the library. I could not bear to touch Ganon's papers.
Can I have a look at the library?
No, I have kept it locked to honor the memory of Senor Xavier.
Please, this is important.
I lost the key.
You lost it?
That evening when I locked it up, I drank to the memory of Senor Xavier. The cellars were well stocked, Senora. It was a long night. I hid the key, then forgot where I hid it, so it is lost. That was all that was left in the morning. I haven't touched a drop since.
I needed to find out what Ganon had been working on in that library. Eva, I am glad your father is safe.
He's old and foolish. He shouldn't be here, but he wouldn't listen to me. I suppose he's still going on about that painting.
Well, yes. In fact, we decoded it.
You did?
Yes, we found a secret passage behind the fireplace.
What?
Your father and Georges went in.
What? That's ridiculous. He's an old man.
Don't worry, Georges knows what he's doing. So he always tells me anyway. Your father is looking very frail.
He's old, and he could do without people giving him the runaround chasing lost treasure.
Have you ever been inside the library?
No, I'm told it is locked.
The key is lost. Ramon says he hid it years ago and cannot remember where.
Shame.
Can you think of anywhere Ramon might have hidden the key?
What do you think I am, psychic?
Seen anything suspicious?
Apart from you and your American boyfriend, no.
He's not my boyfriend, you know.
Whatever.
Talk to you later. Hello, little one. An old pair of shoes. Someone had been sleeping in the car, but long, long ago. The dashboard seemed intact, but this old family car would never drive again. A 5T71. Extraordinary.
Hi guys, Richie Bob here and welcome to Radio Yorkshire. Today we'll be talking to none other than George Stobart. Hey George, thanks for joining us today.
It's a pleasure. Thanks for inviting me on.
Why did you actually go to Paris all those years ago?
I was getting over a breakup. I thought Paris would be a good place to recover. Peaceful, foreign, exotic, and with so many beautiful women. Who knew?
If that explosion had never happened, what do you think you would be doing now?
I'd probably be a lawyer, making lots of money. Of course, doing work for the greater benefit of mankind. Beautiful wife, 2.3 beautiful children, a pet, maybe a goat.
Have you ever thought about changing your beautiful hairstyle?
Actually, I have already. A number of times. 5, in fact, I think.
What is your definition of happiness?
A puzzling, thrilling adventure with Nico at my side. And she's in a good mood, too, of course.
The floor of the car was littered with keys from sardine cans. In amongst the rubbish on the car floor was an old brandy bottle. The inside of the car was in a bad state. I picked up what looked like an old diary. It was Ramon's. The library will forever be a shrine. No one will enter. I shall hide the key in a safe place. Once I've eaten, I have just what I need and know what to do. Oh, beautiful lady, your eyes are so blue. I just can't stop thinking of you. Ramon was quite the budding poet. Our lives are entwined like ivy on a tree. That is what you mean to me. Nice. Hey, I was reading that. Have you no respect for great art? Pretty indigestible, huh? The wind chime looked like it was made from old cans. I wondered if it was Ramon's handiwork. Despite the scrap components, the wind chime was beautiful. It was uncanny. One old sardine can was bulging slightly. I fished around. There was something in it. And there it was, the key to the library. Ramon had been true to his word. This place was like a shrine. Books were still stacked neatly in the bookcase. More were scattered on the floor. The tapestry had been flung to one side. The old armor was in pride of place. Genon clearly hadn't moved it. The table had been cleared. An empty frame rested against the wall. When they left, Genon's soldiers probably took everything of value. The trunk contained someone's personal possessions. At a guess, Genon's. I wondered what secrets they might hold. The hat looked battered and old. I wondered if it had belonged to the mysterious Genon. The map had interesting markings and scribbles all over it. Georges would be so jealous.
So, what is this place, Senor?
It is my family's chapel.
It's not like any chapel I ever saw. Where's the altar, the crucifix, the Christian symbols? And this fresco, what's that?
How extraordinary. It tells a story. It depicts the journey of my ancestors, the Cathars, and their escape from the hilltop fortress of Montsegur with the Tabula Veritatis, from under the very noses of the soldiers of the Albigensian Crusade.
Whoa, wait a minute. Who are the Cathars? And what have they got to do with the tabula?
The Cathars were Gnostics. They lived in the south of France in the 12th century, at peace with the Jews and the Catholics of the Languedoc. They preach that men and women are equal, that God is within you, and that the Church is an obstacle to salvation. The Pope found their core beliefs abhorrent. The Cathars accused him and his Church of corruption. He condemned them as heretics. When the Pope learned that they were the guardians of the Tabula Veritatis, he conspired with the King of France and called for a holy war to wipe them out. The Albigensian Crusade was a callous, ruthless massacre. The final confrontation took place here at Montsegur in 1244. The Crusaders believed that they had slaughtered all the heretics, but a handful managed to escape with the tabula. They traveled south across the Pyrenees along secret trails. They brought the tabula here to Catalonia to be hidden once more. Sadly, it was not the end of their trials. The Spanish Inquisition saw to that. Nevertheless, for generations, my ancestors continued to guard the secret of the tabula. So, you understand why La Maledizione is important to me. It will lead us to the tabula again, so we can keep it safe from those who wish to abuse its power.
The painting brought us up here, Senor. We need to find out why. Senor Marquez?
Yes?
Why was this room so well hidden?
After Montsegur, my ancestors were very careful about announcing their presence. Even I, as a boy, knew nothing of this place.
Maybe the fresco is important.
Perhaps it denotes a dark time in our history. But wait, there is something strange.
Go on.
Each of the escaping Cathars is carrying a tabula.
But you said there's only one tabula.
That is right. So, why would they paint this lie?
Maybe to hide the real destination?
Of course, and only a Gnostic would know the right one.
So you say the Cathars are Gnostics?
The Cathars were a medieval religious movement based on Gnosticism. Nowadays, we simply call ourselves Gnostics.
So the tabula is the key to the power of God?
Yes, it is an object of tremendous power.
Wow, this Albigensian crusade sure must have been a bloody affair.
Few were spared. But it was only one episode in 2 millennia of persecution.
The fresco deserved a proper examination. The fresco was surrounded by dusty inscriptions. My Latin was a little rusty, but I could still translate. Ex igne puritas, from fire, purity. Ex luce veritas, from light, truth. Ex labore sapientia, from struggle, knowledge. A town of northern Catalonia. Cathars, fleeing across the Pyrenees to escape the slaughter of the Albigensian crusade. They seemed to be carrying something. Cathars, fleeing across the Pyrenees to escape the slaughter of the Albigensian crusade. They seemed to be carrying something. A town of northern Catalonia. Cathars being burned at the stake. Knights of the Albigensian crusade. A town of northern Catalonia. 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 The mountain fortress of Montsegur burning after its capture by the Crusaders. It was a large marble statue of an old man with a beard. The statue held aloft a colored glass lens. These statues...
What of them?
They're just like the figures in the painting, and on the fireplace.
Indeed, they are the 2 pillars of the Gnostic faith in harmony. And the bearded one is Yahweh, Jehovah, God of the physical world. The other is known by many names. Helel, Ishtar. He is the bearer of light, Luxfere, Lucifer.
Lucifer? So you guys are devil worshippers?
No. When he is in balance with Jehovah, Lucifer is the god of desire and ambition, driving humans to be inquisitive, to discover, to advance. Just as Jehovah, when he is in balance with Lucifer, is the god of order. Jehovah stands for selflessness and altruism. Gnostics worship the harmony of both gods in balance.
But what if one were to rule without the other?
If Jehovah ruled without Lucifer, then individuality would be surrendered. Mankind would be wholly conformist, mindlessly dependent, mere pawns of a controlling power.
And what if Lucifer ruled without Jehovah?
Ambition and desire would be transformed into unbridled greed, and man would lust only for wealth and power. Society would descend into chaos, disorder and war would prevail. Then Lucifer would be the devil indeed.
It was a glass wheel divided into 6 colors, and it looked like it could be rotated. Part of the lens was covered. I removed the small leather cover to reveal a crude crystal lens. Colored light streamed through and shone onto the fresco. The color changed from yellow to green. It was a glass wheel, just like the one held by the other statue. Part of the lens was covered. The color changed from yellow to green. The color changed from green to turquoise. The color changed from turquoise to blue. It was a candelabrum holding a single candle. Trevor didn't need to see the candelabrum. He'd already sensed its presence, the disturbance in the force. Nothing happened. Senor?
Yes?
Does all that colored light falling on the fresco mean anything?
I don't know, senor. That is why I need you to help me.
What's the deal with these lenses that the statues are carrying?
Clearly, they change the color of light that is reflected onto the fresco.
But why? And why the different colors? So, Jehovah, he's God, isn't he?
He is the central figure in Abrahamic religions, but he represents just one aspect of our Gnostic beliefs, the physical world.
So this statue is Satan?
Not Satan, Lucifer.
Okay, so not evil?
The church demonized Lucifer to suit their own ends. He represents the spiritual and intellectual elements of the world. Good and evil are simply products of the human condition.
You talk about balance. What does that mean?
Harmony comes from the balance of Jehovah, who offers order, and Lucifer, who brings ambition. Only under their dual influence will man become enlightened, see the light.
So, are there any other secrets within the fresco?
The root of the Tabula Veritatis, that is a big enough secret, is it not?
So, this chapel is as new to you as it is to me?
Indeed, I never knew it was here.
Who were the Cathars again?
The Cathars were a medieval religious movement based on Gnosticism. Nowadays, we simply call ourselves Gnostics.
It was a candelabrum holding a single candle. Trevor didn't need to see the candelabrum. He'd already sensed its presence, the disturbance in the force. a town of northern Catalonia. The mountain fortress of Montsegur burning after its capture by the Crusaders. Just what this place needed. Bit of mood lighting. If only I had a few scatter cushions.
Amazing. The light is showing the path of the bonzom.
The what?
The sacred trail my ancestors took across the Pyrenees, carrying the Tabula Veritatis from Montsegur across the mountains to this town.
And which town is that?
I don't know. That I cannot answer. But its coat of arms is quite distinctive.
But how does it bring us closer to the tabula?
It tells us the route the tabula took 800 years ago.
I think that's all we're going to find up here.
You're right. We should return to the hall. Eva will be getting worried.
Okay, we found the route of the Bonzom Trail. How does it help us?
It must somehow relate to the painting.
Papa, are you crazy? What are you doing?
I'm fine, don't fuss.
You got me out here to look after you, so let me do it. Ramon is outside keeping watch.
Georges, I'm glad you're safe. What did you find?
There's a secret chapel above the fireplace. But it's not your average everyday chapel. It's a Gnostic chapel. All laid out for worshiping not one god, but two.
What?
I'll tell you when we have more time.
You know, I found some things too, which might connect with all that. Come to the library. Oh, could you bring the painting? I think we're going to need it.